Well, ang tatlong tropa natin ay na-diagnose ng ating doktor on board, no? Kasi meron tayong medical doctor sa Teresa Magbanwa na kasama dun sa mission nila. They were diagnosed of dehydration, no? They were dehydrated dahil sa kakulangan ng tubig and of course the nutritious food, no? Gaya nga na sinabi ng commanding officer kahapon, ang kinain lang nila for almost 3 weeks ay lugaw, no? So that is one of the reasons why those three personnel experienced sudden weakness and even headaches, no? Kaya naka-dextrose. But right now, the latest medical bulletin is nothing serious naman.
Hospital ba po sila, sir?
We have medical dispensary at nasa ayos naman na silang kalagayan.
Sir, could you give us a sense kung ano po yung pinagdaanan ng mga Coast Guard personnel within that 5 months po para humantong po sa ganitong kondisyon na nakita natin kahapon?
Well, kung titingnan natin ang timeline natin, no? From April, May, June, July, nakakapag-resupply naman tayo ng ating personnel, no? It was only in August where the Chinese Coast Guard started becoming more aggressive and prevented our Coast Guard vessels, particularly the 44 meters, to do the resupply for our personnel. So ibig sabihin, starting August, eto na yung nagkaroon na sila ng problema sa supplies nila. And with regard dun sa tubig, no, because I was asked a while ago sa mga interviews ko ngayong umaga, ang Teresa Magbanwa is a modern vessel down. So supposedly, as a modern vessel, it can be able to generate fresh water using desalinator machine. Well, that is true. BRP Teresa Magbanwa has desalinator. But because of a prolonged stay and usage ng desalinator machine niya, it would require brand new filters, no? Para masabi natin yung itino-convert niyang salt water is potable drinking water. Dahil sa tumagal siya, hindi na siya fresh water na po-produce. Kung ang tanong mo is to at least describe, no, ng ating mga kababayang Pilipino what they went through to the point na for more than 1 month now, ang iniinom na lang nilang tubig came from the rainwater, no? At it was even mentioned by the commanding officer na they even have to, sa mga pagkakataon na walang ulan, they even have to gather water dun sa air conditioning units, no, na napuproduce, and then they're just going to boil it, and that will be used for drinking and also for cooking. And again, eating lugaw for 3 weeks obviously is not that nutritious.
Hi sir, good morning po. Sir, siguro just to set the record straight, because people are also looking at the timing of the decision to para pabalikin yung barko doon sa Palawan, sir. No? But just days before that, naganap nga po yung Philippine-China meeting, yung bilateral meeting. So, some are finding connection between this meeting and the decision, or what prompted po itong decision ahead of, na-finalize na po ba itong decision na pabalikin prior to the meeting?
Well, the decision of the Philippine Coast Guard to direct Teresa Magbanwa to go back to the port is not related whatsoever to the meeting that they had with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. We don't have any, guidance from the Department of Foreign Affairs for this kind of operational details. The decision of the Commandant of the Philippine Coast Guard, Admiral Ronnie Hilgaban, to pull out Teresa Magbanwa is a decision that he made because of the welfare of the Filipino Coast Guard vessel, the seaworthiness of the vessel, and again, the most compelling factor is obviously the bad weather condition.
Sir, good morning. Sir, considering yung mga challenges na pinagdaanan ng mga troops ng PRP, Teresa Magbanwa, paano natin pinaghahandaan naman yung deployment ng susunod na barko na pupunta doon sa Sabina Shoal, considering na possible na ganito din yung pagdaanan nila and may mga challenges silang harapin sa mga Chinese vessels po?
Alam niyo, sa totoo lang, if you're going to ask any personnel on board 9701 and even the commanding officer, you saw him very emotional and teary-eyed yesterday. It's because he felt bad na he has to go back. Ang crew ng Teresa Magbanwa really has this commitment and determination to stay longer sa Skoda Shoal. So I don't think we need more pep talk to our personnel or any other Coast Guard vessel na madideploy dito. Any Coast Guard personnel who are assigned to any Coast Guard vessels would be very much willing to carry out this patriotic duty in Skoda Shoal.
Sir, just to follow up on that question, paano yung plano natin? Will there be changes on the strategy considering na na-experience yung problem on resupply dun sa PRP Teresa Magbanwa? So what will happen dun sa susunod? Paano natin ma-ensure that we will have enough supplies for them?
Those are operational details, but one thing that I can emphasize is that we're still going to maintain our presence in Skoda Shoal. Regardless what size of vessels, regardless how many vessels. The main objective and the commitment of the Commandant, Admiral Gavant, is to make sure that at any one time, there will be a Coast Guard presence in Skoda Shoal.
So, sir, yung pong BRP Teresa Magbanwa, yun na rin po ba yung ibabalik dun sa Escoda?
No, because BRP Teresa Magbanwa still has to undergo repairs. And the personnel needs to undergo medical and physical evaluation as well. So there are other Coast Guard vessels where we can direct to maintain our presence in Skoda.
Just to follow up on that, so repair and maintenance of the Teresa Magbanwa, of course, it's one of our most modern ships, and it will be a welcome development if it returns in that area. So what's the timeline we are looking at?
Regarding the timeline of how long it will take for Teresa Magbanwa to be repaired, that is something that we still don't know. Teresa Magbanwa is still in Puerto Princesa, but it's not the final location for her to be repaired. It will move to another place, but I won't be disclosing it to undergo repair. The moment she arrived to the repair facility, that's the only time we can have a definite answer how long it will take. It's for the repair facility to estimate whether it would go to days or even weeks.
Sir, Marlene Padiernes po sa Teleradio Submission Radio sa Estrada. Sir, mula nung umalis po yung BRP Teresa Magbanwa doon sa Skoda Shoal, nagkaroon po ba ng paggalaw doon sa mga Chinese vessels sa lugar? May nawagin po ba tayo?
Well, alam nyo, no? Ang mga Chinese maritime forces, kung ano man ang lakas ng alon, pangit na panahon na pinagdadaanan ng Teresa Magbanwa when she was in Skoda Shoal, that doesn't make them invincible. Kung anong pinagdaanan natin, yun din ang pinagdadaanan nila. Regarding sa malaking alon, malakas na hangin, malakas na buhos ng ulan, this is the same thing that they have experienced. What I can say is that we have monitored also that the Chinese Coast Guard vessels who were there have also significantly diminished because of the very bad sea condition in that area.
Okay, sir, nabanggit po ninyo na hindi nyo masabi sa ngayon kung ano yung timeline, kung kailan makakapag-deploy ng, or ma-repair itong BRP Teresa Magbanwa. At hindi na rin po mabanggit sa ngayon yung operational details about doon sa deployment ng mga barko ng Pilipinas. Ito po sir, sinasabi niyo sama ng panahon, malakas na hampas ng alon doon sa lugar. Sasamantalahin ba natin ito, sir, yung oras, yung panahon nito para makapaghanda ulit sa panibagong deployment po doon sa Skoda Shoal?
Well, again, I'm not saying that we haven't deployed yet. I'm not saying we are about to deploy the moment the weather permits. What I'm saying is that there are already plans in place for us to maintain our deployment in Skoda Shoal.
Thank you po.
Good morning po, Magatoria. Gina Mapi po, ng DWW-7774. Sir, yung mga supply nagkakaroon ng problema doon sa mga bagong dinideploy ninyo. Di ba doon po yata yung Teresa Magbanwa dun sa Escoda Shoal? Yung po mga supply na to, hindi ba kayang dalhin ng barko sa loob? Yung supply sa 5 buwan, di ba kayang dalhin ng barko? O baka pwede lang ilagay para hindi na nagkakaproblema sa resupply mission. At saka sir, yung filter sa tubig, desalination, di ba? Di ba mahalaga yun? Hindi ba maaaring magdala ng reserva para yung mga tauhan ng PCG naman ay hindi nalalagay sa alanganin yung kanilang kalusugan.
Well, regarding the filters and needed equipment for the desalinator, let me take this opportunity to thank the Embassy of Japan. They are the ones supporting us to acquire those needed filters. Secondly, ang mga filters na to ay hindi ganun kabilis ma-acquire. Hindi siya locally available na katulad sa mabibili sa Ace Hardware. Ganun siyang kahirap, no?
Yes, we know.
Yes,
But, you
yes,
are the fifth
yes,
in
that's why,
Congress. Is that
yes,
expected of you to be a-
yes, ma'am, I'm responding to your question now.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I'm saying is that nobody has ever expected that we're going to have difficulty now in bringing in those supplies. And nobody also thought that the prolonged stay of BLP Teresa Magbanua would go to the point that the desalinator machine would also not be functioning well. Kaya nga sinasabi ko po, ma'am, we have already talked to the Embassy of Japan. They are now helping us to procure those additional filters. Regarding sa pagkain, these are operational details as well. Bakit kinulang, paano ang gagawin natin sa mga susunod na panahon, I cannot disclose, but these are, as you said, lessons learned for us in considering the next deployment.
So, nahihirapang dumaan sa tubig yung ating mga resupply mission. Hindi pa pwede gamitin ng air. Permission ng Philippine Air Force para dun sa ating mga barko.
We did airdrop resupply last August 28.
Yes, sir.
But again, this is also subject to weather condition.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Hi sir, magandang umaga po. Michael Rogas po, from Radyo Pilipinas, sir. Paano po natin matitiyak ngayong lugar na inalisan ng Teresa Magbanua ay hindi po okupado ngayon ng mga Chinese Coast Guard?
Well, again sir, no, ulitin ko. Ang buong Escoda Shoal ay may total area na 137 square kilometers. Once we say the vicinity of the Escoda Shoal, that's how we can, view it, no. 137 square kilometers ay kombinasyon ng cities ng Manila, Malabon, Navotas, and Caloocan. Ganun siyang kalaki. Kung ang tanong mo, sir, is makakapag-deploy pa rin ba tayo ng barko sa laki na to? Obviously, napakalaki ng total area ng Escoda Shoal. If our intention is only to deploy a vessel within Escoda Shoal, that is something that we can carry out. It's impossible for us to think, no, na it's impossible for the Chinese government to carry out na ang buong Escoda Shoal ay haharangan nila. Just like my response with sir, hindi siya katulad ng Baho de Masinloc. Ang Baho de Masinloc, the entry point going to the lagoon is only on the southeastern part. The entire Escoda Shoal, there are different ways for you to enter the two lagoons from the west and east. So, there is no reason for us to go back once again in that area na sinasabi natin, doon kasi tayo nag-anchor kaya gusto namin uling doon mag-anchor. If our intent is only to deploy a vessel to carry out monitoring of the activities of the Chinese government inside Escoda Shoal, we can be able to do that.
Sir, is it safe sabihin natin hindi tayo nawala ng teritoryo or parte ng Pilipinas sa pag-alis po ng Teresa Magbanua?
It is not just safe for us to say it, but it is wrong to say na may inabandon or iniwan or nawalan tayo ng teritoryo sa Escoda Shoal. Paulit-ulit kong sasabihin, we have not lost anything. We did not abandon anything. Escoda Shoal is still part of our exclusive economic zone. We can deploy vessels anytime we like. We can go there anytime we like. It won't be difficult for us because there are different approaches for the Coast Guard vessels to enter Escoda Shoal.
With an eye to the mission na sinabi natin ng Coast Guard,
That you will
that Teresa Magbanua is there to safeguard and prevent yung reclamations. Yung return niya ba, yung forced return niya, so to speak, is a defeat para sa bansa natin, for the Coast Guard. Would you consider that? Kasi some people are saying that.
No, It's not a defeat. As I said, related to my response a while ago, it's not also the Coast Guard abandoning our post in Skoda Shoal. We are just repositioning our own vessels. The only reason why we directed Magbanwa is to address the concerns that I mentioned. But it doesn't mean that the Coast Guard vessels will no longer be deployed there. Again, these are just operational details, but you have the commitment of the Commandant of the Philippine Coast Guard. We have other Coast Guard vessels that as we speak right now may have been or may already been proceeding to Skoda Shoal. But again, these are operational details.
But we can guarantee na walang reclamation na mangyayari dahil wala tayong ngayon.
Alam mo, Sir Chino, reclamation of the Chinese maritime features took them almost 4 years from 2013 to 2017. This is how long they reclaimed Mischief Reef, Gavin Reef, Quarteron, and other areas. No? Hindi naman siguro marireclaim yan kung in just a matter of hours na wala tayo.
Last ka lang, sir. Tapos, sir, so, given na lang sa scenario na wala, well, may can accommodate the fact that bad weather and everything else, considerations natin. Would it be safe to say na oras na may gawin sila doon, Coast Guard will do everything to prevent, stop under the law yung gagawin nila?
Well, Sir Chino, kaya nga sinasabi natin, no? Ang Teresa Magbanwa, let us not discount the fact that they were successful in their mission for 5 months. The mere fact that the Coast Guard was able to prevent the reclamation from happening from April until the last day she left there. Ibig sabihin, the Coast Guard can carry out whatever it takes for us to make sure that China will not be able to occupy and even reclaim Skoda Shoal.
The situation on Skoda Shoal is getting harder. What support can your security partners, the US and Japan, offer? What support do you need?
Well, these are questions that is better addressed to the Department of Foreign Affairs or the Department of National Defense. But let me take this opportunity to thank the Embassy of Japan again for the filters of our desalinator. We also have requested for the spare of those desalinators. As you are aware, the Coast Guard vessels that we have, the 9701 and the 44-meter vessels are all constructed by the Japanese shipyards. So those kind of support can also be needed by the Philippine government, by the Philippine Coast Guard.
Hi, Sir. Mark from the Straits Times. Hello, yan. Sir, I know operational details you can't really give, but bakit hindi tayo nakapagpadala ng alternative ships bago palabasin, bago tanggalin po for now yung PRP Teresa Magbanwa? And hindi po ba risk yun na we left it nga to the Chinese? Hindi po ba mahihirapan tayo bumalik? I understand it's so much bigger, but they have so much more ships. And we've seen a more aggressive China these past couple of months. Wala po ba tayong concern? Baka sir, baka yung can explain, ba't hindi tayo nakapagpalit?
Alam mo, Mara, meron kaming concern. Hindi kami sa walang concern, no? But again, uulitin ulit, no? The bad weather condition has compelled us to deploy, to recall our vessel in Skoda Shoal. Kung ang intention lang natin is to retrieve etong Teresa Magbanwa, the question is, kung meron din ba tayong capability na maglaot from Palawan going to Skoda? Kung pangit nga ang panahon dahil nga i-recall natin. I mean, logically speaking, it's very difficult for us to explain, but that's the only way we can, explain this kind of things.
One last question from me, sir. Sir, are you seeing China doing more blockades within the West Philippine Sea? And what can the Philippine Coast Guard do given that they're more superior in terms of equipment, in terms of the number of vessels they are able to deploy, not just Coast Guard but also their maritime militia? Ano po other parts of the West Philippines na magkakaroon ng blockade?
Well, let me first correct you. No, let us not use blockade because blockade has a different connotation. The Chinese government, the only thing that they're doing is to harass and to unlawfully carry out dangerous maneuver in the entire West Philippine Sea. I don't think that blockade is the right terminology to describe this kind of illegal and barbaric activities of the Chinese maritime forces. This kind of actions have always been considered. We are always calibrating our approach and deployment of the vessels in the entire West Philippine Sea. And I think it's not also accurate to say that the Chinese maritime forces have been very effective in harassing our deployment in different areas of the West Philippine Sea. It is only pretty much targeted. Like that's what they do in Bajo de Masinloc, also in Ayungin, also in Escoda. But the entire West Philippine Sea, it's a very big body of water. So I just want to I just want to make this an opportunity to explain that once you write something in talking about the West Philippine Sea, clearly define it like it's a targeted harassment, not harassment in the entire West Philippine Sea, because it has different connotation.
Good morning, sir. There's information that a 44-meter ship has been deployed or will be deployed to replace the Magbanwa. Without going into operational details, how long can a ship of that size stay in the middle of the ocean, stay on the mission, or stay there in the area? And also, question number 2, we've already requested Japan for replacement of the desalinators. How long do you think, or how long will the replacements or get be delivered to us? At least estimate of how long?
Well, una sa lahat, no, for the desalinators. Ang desalinators ay ipina-DHL na nila. Tama ba, Atty.? That's how fast the Japanese, the Embassy of Japan help us for the filters. So hopefully within this week, those filters will be arriving na sa kinuha pa nga nila ang address ng headquarters kasi door-to-door talaga to ng DHL, no? We are expecting 4 sets of desalinators. So, dalawa para sa 9701 and dalawa para sa 9702. So, I hope I already answered your question. For your first question about the 44-meter vessel, of course, the 44-meter vessel, it has longer duration of patrol, somewhere between probably 7 to 10 days, a week for additional 3 days. But it doesn't mean na pag dumating ulit doon, aalis na naman, we can be able to, strategize like 144 and then replacement in place, another 44 meter or 97 meter for much longer, those kind of things. But again, these are operational details that I don't want to explain further, but at least for you to have an understanding that it doesn't follow that we have smaller vessel and we're a bit, not considerate about the number of days we can stay in Skoda.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Beko Ping from Rappler. Sir, there have been, as mentioned earlier, inevitable comparisons to the Bajo de Masinloc standoff in 2012. I understand you've already explained the difference, but I think one stark difference here is that leading up to the Magbanwa's return to port, it was months, weeks of really intense harassment, brute force from Chinese maritime forces. What does the PCG and the NTF perhaps also think of these comparisons, again, to the 2012 standoff in Bajo de Masinloc? And what does this say, you think, yung changes between a decade about China's actions or the shift in China's actions in the West Philippine Sea?
I think that's better addressed by the National Maritime Council. Ayoko kasi pag nagsalita ako baka sabihin. Again, let us stop comparing Baho de Masinloc with that of Skoda Show. Napakalaki ng pinagkaiba niya, no? Baho de Masinloc, ulitin ko ulit, isang entry point lang. Kaya nga every time na magpapatulya ang Coast Guard, BFAR, alam nyo rin yan, you've been embedded whenever we go to Baho de Masinloc. Yung nag-iisang entry point na yon na hindi na inalisan ng Chinese Coast Guard sa loob, ay nilalagyan pa nila ng harang to make sure na nobody gets inside the lagoon of Baho de Masinloc. Skoda Shoal is entirely different. Ang dami niyang pwedeng pasukan. Ang lagoon niya hindi lang din nag-iisa. Alam ko, nakapunta na rin kayo ng Sabina. Meron siyang West Lagoon, East Lagoon, at for each lagoon, there are more than 5 entry point na pwede mong pasukan. So I don't think that there is a similarity between Baho de Masinloc and Skoda Shoal. Regarding the change, I think the NMC can respond to that.
Okay, good morning, sir. I'm going to belabor you again on that.
Na-miss ko na to si Barnaby. Ngayon lang kita uli nakita.
Talaga? Okay. Sige. I'll go. Sorry, but I have to belabor you again.
You always.
On that point, yes. Wouldn't you say? Would it be fair to say that the Philippine Coast Guard or the Teresa Magbanua was forced to retreat, or because of the strategy of the Chinese to starve the crew of the Teresa Magbanua? As we all saw, the crew members came back to port dehydrated and ill. And if that is so, then they would just keep doing that. And they could also do that because, for us who have been to the Second Thomas Shoal or Ayungin Shoal, Sabina Shoal is on the way to Ayungin Shoal. So would it also affect the resupplies to the BRP Sierra Madre?
I think forced by the Chinese for us to go back, I don't think so. Hindi naman ako naniniwala mas malakas sila kay Lord para magpabagyo ng Palawan. 'Di ba? Again, it's not just the supplies that compelled us to go back to the port in Puerto Princesa. It's the bad weather condition. Supposing that it's a fair weather, it would be very easy for us, just like what Ma'am Mape said, to do air drop or other ways, right? Because we have done it last August 28. There are other possible ways for us to sustain our stay in Skoda Shoal. But the bad weather condition is really the primary factor that made the commandant decide to bring Teresa Magbanua.
But with dozens of Chinese ships there, are they able to establish a more permanent presence than the Philippine government?
No. I would argue that permanent presence is not something that the Chinese maritime forces have already done in Skoda Shoal. As I said, when Teresa Magbanua deported Skoda Shoal, the Chinese forces are also subjected to that bad weather condition. It's not just 9701 who left Skoda Shoal. We can document that even the Chinese have also left because of that very bad weather condition.
And there's dozens of Chinese ships there. You mentioned that the area is much larger than the Scarborough Shoal. So despite the presence of dozens of Chinese ships there, those dozens of Chinese ships, maritime militia, Coast Guard, Chinese Navy, they're not going to be enough. In your opinion,
Yes.
to block the Philippine Coast Guard from entering the shoal?
Yesterday, the only number of vessels that were there is down to 11. 11 Chinese maritime militia. There were no Chinese Coast Guard vessels. There were no hospital ship, no PLA Navy tugboats. As of yesterday.
Hi, sir. Good morning, Manicar po. Sir,
Clarification lang, sir. Yung recall of the Teresa Magbanwa, it was a call made by Admiral Gavan. And kailan siya, sir, nag-decide to recall the ship?
Again, the very bad weather condition for so many times, no. Ang pangit na panahon ang talagang nag-compel kay Commandant to recall Teresa Magbanwa. And of course, the dwindling supplies and those personnel who needs medical care.
But sir, wala sa plano supposedly, dapat mag-extend pa sana si Magbanwa, sir.
Yes, as I said, even the commanding officer, no, has to apologize when he reported for his mission accomplishment in Puerto Princesa. He was teary-eyed and then he said, "I'm sorry, sir, I have to bring back the vessel." It's because it was never really our plan during that time for Teresa Magbanwa to go back to the port.
Thank you, sir. Sir, last na. Sir, if I remember correctly, sir, during the ramming or collision ng Teresa Magbanwa, there was mentioned na parang UR or the NTF is considering na i-extend yung provisional agreement from currently Ayungin to cover Escoda. Can you tell us, may ganun ba, sir? Are there talks going on about it, and where are we?
I think that kind of question is better addressed by the Department of Foreign Affairs and the National Maritime Council. Just for the record, it's not the idea of the National Task Force West Philippines. I think it's somebody else said it.
Sir, follow-up question. Are we not considering at this point to perhaps send Philippine Navy ships as well to the shoal to augment the PCG's vessels? Kasi we know that several vessels have been damaged rather substantially during missions to Escoda Shoal.
Bea, as a Coast Guard officer, I can only talk about the deployment of Coast Guard vessels.
Moving beyond the Philippines, sir, are we not considering at this point to ask the help of our partners or allies in entering Escoda again, future patrols perhaps in the West Philippine Sea? Is that not yet a consideration at this point?
The response to that question is beyond my pay grade. It's for the DFA and the DND to discuss.
Sir, just to follow up on what you said, that it wasn't the WPSTF that proposed for the extension of the provisional agreement in Ayungin. Why do you not think that it was wise to extend the provisional agreement to cover Escoda? What was the argument against it? Why isn't it beneficial to the Philippines?
I have my personal response to that question, but again,
Personal responses.
I won't comment on that. And again, for the record, it's not the National Task Force who said that. It's somebody else.
Yes, but what does the task force feel that would be the better course? If it's not to extend the provisional agreement, what else can we do to make it easier for our forces to resupply whichever ship is already deployed?
I'm only authorized to discuss operational details as to that kind of diplomatic and policy issues. It's for the DFA and the National Maritime Council to respond to.
Sir, very quick follow-up lang. Sir, magpapadala pa rin tayo ng ship, di ba sir, sa Escoda Shoal, pero hindi pa natin ma-disclose. But sabi po, mission accomplished na si PRP Teresa Magbanwa. And kung magpapadala pa po tayo doon, does it mean na mayroon pa siyang kailangang bantayan doon sa Escoda Shoal? And gaano pa po katagal do you think itong mission na to would entail?
Well, the deployment of Coast Guard vessels is not just purely focused in Escoda Shoal. Of course, as you're aware, we pass through different maritime features that we occupy. But it doesn't mean that we're just going to purely concentrate in Escoda Shoal.